Welcome back. So, today we're going to jump into this really cool curated newsletter called Weekly NishIsHere. Think of it like having that one friend who's always online, finds the most interesting stuff, and then connects all the dots for you between tech, pop culture, and business. Let's get into some of the finds they pulled together.
And it kicks things off with a question that honestly, it just stops you in your tracks. Are you spending your time right? It's such a heavy question, but it's the perfect frame for everything that comes next. Because it's not just about what we click on, but how we're actually living.
And when you actually see it broken down like this, wow, it's a little jarring, isn't it? The newsletter shows our whole life based on who we spend time with. And you see this huge, sharp drop-off with parents and siblings right after your teens. That time gets replaced, first with friends, and then later with a partner. It's just a crazy visual reminder of how precious and, finite our time is with the people we grew up with. It definitely makes you ask, am I giving my time to the right people today?
So, after that moment of deep reflection, the newsletter just pivots straight into pure inspiration. This next part is all about the unbelievable power of having a 10-year vision, and it uses some incredible real-world stories to show what we can do over the long haul. And this is the perfect example. The newsletter brings up the story of this young YouTuber, a kid named Jimmy, who we all now know as MrBeast. A decade ago, he had just 8,000 subscribers and made a video talking to his future self. Fast forward to today, he has over 445 million. That is not an overnight success story. That is a decade of just grinding, all driven by a super clear vision.
And MrBeast's whole journey is basically the living, breathing definition of this quote, right? We all get so hung up on our one-year goals, but his story just proves that 10 years of consistent work, well, it can lead to something you literally couldn't even imagine when you started.
Sticking with this theme of resilience, we get another amazing story, this one from Hollywood. It's all about Drew Barrymore's journey from being this exploited child star to becoming a source of real inspiration for so many people.
I mean, this timeline really puts it all into perspective. You become a global superstar at 7 years old in E.T. Sounds like a dream, right? But for her, it led down this incredibly dark path that had her in rehab by the time she was 13. That could have been it. But no, she completely rewrote her own story to become this positive, beloved person she is today. And this quote that the newsletter highlights it nails it. The fact that she can come out of all of that with this genuinely cheerful, optimistic spirit is what makes her story so incredible. It's such a testament to the human spirit. And to just cap off this whole section on inspiration, the newsletter's author shares something they watch to get motivated: Felix Baumgartner's Freefall from the literal edge of space. It's this wild, stomach-churning leap that's just an undeniable reminder of what humans are capable of when we push ourselves to the absolute limit. Okay, so we're going to shift gears now. From the peak of human determination, we are diving right into a very modern curiosity, a debate that's just impossible to ignore right now: the clash between human creativity and artificial intelligence. And at the center of this whole conversation is tech, like SORA. The newsletter describes it as an all-AI TikTok clone. We are talking about platforms that can create a video from just a few words you type. And that, of course, raises massive questions about what the future of media is even going to look like.
But, and here's where it gets really interesting, the newsletter presents this fantastic counterpoint. The thinking is, as the internet gets flooded with all this low-effort, AI-generated stuff, some people are calling it brain rot, it's actually going to create a massive demand for content that feels authentic, that you can tell was made by a real person. The more robotic things get, the more we're going to crave that human touch. All right, next up, we see how this newsletter can take these super complicated ideas and make them feel simple and honestly fascinating. We're jumping from AI into the really shadowy world of high-stakes finance to look at the art of money laundering. So, how does this all actually work? The newsletter sets it up like a puzzle. Okay, imagine you've got millions of dollars in dirty money. You can't just go deposit it or buy a mansion, right? You trip every alarm bell there is. So the mission is, how do you make that money look totally clean? And here's the playbook, just broken down into simple steps. Step 1, the problem. You got a huge pile of dirty cash. The challenge, moving it so nobody gets suspicious. The solution is the laundering part, this whole complex web of transactions to hide where it came from. And the end result, the money looks totally legit and you can spend it however you want. It's like a mini documentary in just a few sentences. So let's just recap.
We've gone from thinking about how we spend our lives to stories of human determination, the future of AI, and even money laundering. All of these totally different threads are found and connected in one place. This is the kind of stuff that the weekly Nish is Here newsletter brings you every single week.
And to wrap it all up, the newsletter leaves us with this quote of the week. It's such a simple but really powerful thought about finding that tiny group of people who just get you. It's a perfect idea to chew on.
Look, if you enjoyed this little journey through all these curated insights and you want to get cool finds just like these sent to your inbox every week, I would absolutely recommend subscribing. The address is right there on the screen, NishIsHere.substack.com. Thanks for hanging out.